last-minute non-manual speech about his time working in construction. Help me welcome Doug Kinnear and his speech, The Dirtiest Job Ever. Doug Kinnear.
The other night I was watching an interview with Mike Rowe on the Discovery Channel. Dirty Jobs is his show for 8 seasons. And he said he's done a little research. He's done over 300 dirty jobs in 50 states. And he feels like he has the right to say that there are a lot of jobs in America right now. Many millions of jobs, but they're dirty jobs and nobody wants those jobs. And that's where the problem lies, because they've been denigrated and put down so much, nobody wants to work with their hands anymore. Well, hearing him speak so eloquently about dirty jobs reminded me of my dirty job, which I actually have fond memories of. I didn't make it my first attempt at college. I needed to work with my hands, apparently. So I got a job working construction as a construction laborer for $6.50 an hour, almost twice the minimum wage at the time. I was styling. I showed up the first day of that job, and Gene Gluchowski met me. It's hard to imitate him without cursing, so I won't try. But he said, I need you to take that sand and shovel it into that hole. So that's what I did. I grabbed a shovel and I shoveled for 8 hours into that hole and filled it up. The next day I came in, I was kind of tired. I was shot. I was hurting everywhere. And he said, Doug, I need you to take that sand in that hole and shovel it back out and make a pile for me. Would you do that, please? No problem, Gene. Took care of that. 8 hours, shoveling it back out. After that experience, my jobs got a little better. I got to work with the masons. I got to steer cranes. I got to drive a bulldozer. I was having a good time. Except, it was dangerous work. The first time I found this out, I was standing talking to Gene, and we were about 40 feet behind a cherry picker, a small crane, that was picking up something too heavy for it. And the cable snapped. And I could hear it coming through the air, shh, and it slammed in the ground about 3 feet to my side. It went about 4 inches into the dirt. I looked at Gene, and I said, that was close. I guess time for lunch. Split. I saw myself cut right in two. I thought, well, okay, that was one. The next one, I was in a hole working on some piping, and there was metal sheathing all around the hole holding back the dirt. And we had a crane extracting one piece of sheathing at a time. And my job was to hook the buckle up to the cable up to the sheath and let him pull it out. As we worked our way around the hole, though, I had just finished hooking up that sheath, and it was pulling out of the ground, and the crane swung into a high-tension power line, lighting up the crane. Sparks flew everywhere. My hair stood, and I wasn't touching the piece of metal, but a moment earlier I was. And the crane operator had his feet up, and his sheet was insulated, and then finally the cable snapped, and emergency over, and he said, get back to work. Okay, well then it got better, because they asked me to do a very tough job. When we finished, this is a construction job on an existing sewage treatment plant, to give you an idea of the dirt we're talking about. And the last job was to tie the new plant into the old one. And there was a 40-foot well that you could only access at 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll leave it to you to guess why, because it's the lowest time of usage. And we were down in the well, and the job was to take a 18-inch concrete plug out of a 48-inch line with a 90-pound jackhammer. Like this. And it's crouch down time, and I've covered my entire body with duct tape and with everything I could find, for obvious reasons. But right behind me was Big Bill. He was a very big guy, and we were down there together, taking places, or trading places, using the jackhammer. And right behind us, where we're standing is quite slippery, everything's slippery, but behind us is an open trough of slowly moving, somewhat water. Not a little water and a lot of other stuff. 60-inch line, big line, going to the main plant, 100 yards. I turned around and Bill was gone. He was gone. Like, where'd he go? Well, he's in the water, and he's drifting away. All I could do was grab onto the pneumatic hose and lunge down into that, and I found fingertips, happy fingertips, and we pulled, and got him back, got him out of the water, and we needed to take a break. So we climbed up to the top of the ladder. Gene comes running over. What are you doing? Still got work to do. Well, Bill didn't say anything. He just walked out of the plant and left. For good reason. I think I would have too. I never saw him again, never heard from him again. He didn't say thank you. So I eventually quit the job. I did love working with my hands. I loved seeing things that I constructed, walking through every day, knowing that my participation with this team accomplished something. And it was solid, it was physical, I could touch it. But it was dangerous. And I went back to what Mike Rowe was saying. Yeah, there are a lot of dirty jobs available, but they're very dangerous normally. And you get pretty dirty. And I thought to myself, I'm going back to college. That's the conclusion I came to. After this experience, thinking about Big Bill, thinking about the sheath of electrical nightmare being pulled out, thinking about almost being cut in half, I said, I am going back to college. And when I did, I got straight A's and I got a job inside. So thanks, Mike Rowe, for thinking about us. And I do wish more young people would decide to work with their hands and arms and backs and get some physical labor, because nothing makes you appreciate an office job like having the dirtiest job in the world.